Hi guys, welcome back. Today we'll be taking a look at the Hong Kong market. Before we begin, remember to take a second to give video a like and subscribe as you could help our channel. Without further ado, let's first start off with the Hang Seng Index. So for this week, in fact, there was actually not much of a movement. So the key resistance to clear will be this 21749, and hopefully we can break up above this 22,000 psychological support resistance level, and thereafter 22449 would be the next potential target for the Hang Seng Index. That's it. Two support to watch would be 21825 and 21573. If we pull down further, then 61.8% at 21200 would be a very critical support to hold. In fact, just 2 days ago, you can see that this was being well supported at this 61.8%. Let's move on to the Hang Seng Tech Index. So the Hang Seng Tech Index, there's actually not much movement as well. You can see that it just seems to be consolidating sideways, even though we did see some sell-off. So the resistance to clear will be this blue conversion line, which is at 4890. And if we are successfully punch up above this 5,000 psychological resistance level, then we will likely to be retesting this 5137.77. The critical supports to be watching will be this Fibonacci at 61.8% at 4609. You can see on this particular day it bounced off this support level, and if you pull back further, then it will be 4444, which is a strong Fibonacci at 50% support levels. Let's move on to Tencent. So for Tencent or 0700, you can see that it is pretty weak. In fact, from a recent low of 325 to a recent high of 406. It essentially hit the last support level at 23.6% at 344. So there is a lot of sellers going on, and it's likely for us to retreat back to 325.2 perhaps next week. It's likely the case. Two resistance to clear, and it's very critical to clear, would be this red baseline at 373 and this blue conversion line at around 370. So at 370, there is a lot of resistance, and many sellers would appear at those levels. Let's move on to 998 or Alibaba. So you can see that Alibaba seems to be trending up and breaking up above this particular high here. And it seems that we continue to go up higher. And in the event there is not a fake breakout, so if it is not a fake breakout and we don't see a sell down thereafter, then it's a good sign, because we are starting to create higher lows and also higher highs. So that is a good sign for this particular counter. That's it. Critical resistance to clear will be 78.6% at 121.3, and we have to continue to clear it. If we are successful in clearing this 121.3, then the next resistance will be 135.0. Two critical support to watch will be this blue conversion line at 115 and also this red baseline at 106, and it coincides with this 61.8% at 105.8, which is a very critical support level for Alibaba to hold. Let's move on to Meituan. So Meituan, in fact, it has been sideways movement for almost about 1 to 2 weeks already. So there's not much of a change. Critical resistance to breakout will be 211.6, and it coincides with this 70.6% at 212. If we're successful in breaking out, then 242 might be within reach in the upcoming weeks or even days. If we were to break down, then 180.5 is a very critical support that we have to hold. If we do not hold, then 170 and 161 may potentially be tested as well. Let's move on to NetEase. So NetEase, after its unfortunate news, you can see that there was already a sell-off, and we continue to slide down further. So it seems that we are already on a downtrend, and we seems to be losing control. And we can see that on this particular Thursday and Friday, we are already out of the clouds. This is not a good sign. The cloud seems to be breaking down. So if in the event that we do break down, then 38.2% at 133 is essentially the last support. And before that, we would likely to be looking towards 123 or even going back to 108 levels for NetEase. As for the resistance, it will be this blue conversion line at 145 and also this red baseline, which is currently at 154. So these two will act as a very strong resistance for NetEase to break out. Let's move on to NIO. So NIO, after it hit essentially a double top here, you can see that there was some selling and we started to go down further. So the key resistance to watch will be 180 and 184. If we can clear these two resistance successfully, then we can continue to trend back up. If not, then we'll continue to slide further down. And as you can see, this blue conversion line at 180 will act as a very strong resistance on Friday itself. So this red baseline here, which is around 163 here, just above the $160 psychological support level, is a very strong support for NIO, and it has to continue to holding in order for NIO to sustain its strength. Let's move on to JD. So JD or 9618, in fact, there's actually not much movement, very similar to Meituan, it's consolidating sideways, and most of the stocks are in fact consolidating sideways. So it can actually break out or it can also break down. So the key resistance to clear will be this blue conversion line at 257, and this red baseline at 246 cannot break down. If we were to break down this 246 level of this red baseline, then it's likely for us to be looking at 232 or even 222 levels. If we can break out successfully, then we can hopefully retest the high of 275.2. Let's move on to 9888 or Baidu. So Baidu, very similar situation, seems to be consolidating sideways. And as you can see on this particular day here, this baseline acted as a very strong support at 142. So this coincides with this 50% Fibonacci support level, and thereafter we continue to trend back up. This blue conversion line also acts as a very strong support at currently around 149 levels. So if we can punch up above 155.7, that would be good. So 165 will be within reach. If we continue to slide down further, then 139 and 136 act as a very strong support for Baidu. Let's move on to AIA. So AIA or 1299, not much of a change, still above 78.6%, 84.50. If we slide down further, then 82.85. You can see some many buyers actually stepping in to support this area at 61.8%, 82.85. So if we do slide down further, then 81.65 at around here, 50% Fibonacci support level, and this red baseline acts as a very strong support for 1299 or AIA. Resistance that we have to clear will be this 86.55 or also this 86.65. If we can successfully punch it above this resistance level, then $91 would be within reach. Let's move on to PingAn. So PingAn, you can see that is essentially finding some cloud support now. So on the way up, the cloud acts as a resistance, while on the way down, the cloud will act as a good support level. So there is some buyers stepping in. You can see that 61.8% at 51.40 buyers are stepping in to support the price levels. So the key resistance that we have to clear is 54.90, and it coincides with this 78.6% at 55.15. So if we can break out above this, that will be good, even heading to $57. Support levels to watch would be this $50 psychological support level at 50.35. 50% Fibonacci support is a very strong support level, which is also not too far away from the 38.2% at 49.25. Let's move on to this next and last particular stock, which is Xiaomi Corporation. So Xiaomi Corporation, very similar pattern to PingAn. We are finding some good support at the cloud level. So you can see that there are buyers stepping in on these two particular days, and we didn't finish the day low. So if we can successfully break out above 78.6%, 1436, then 1548 may be likely for us, and it's likely for us the case. You can see that this is a very nice wave pattern here, where we are forming higher lows and also higher lows here, and even higher highs. So the pattern will continue to remain, and the trend will likely continue to remain as long as there's no bad news. So if we pull back down, then 61.8% at 1292, you can see the buyers stepping in. If we pull back down even further, then 1242 or even 1192 as potential supports for Xiaomi Corporation. So overall, the Hong Kong market seems to be consolidating sideways, and hopefully the buyers will come back next week. So if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by. Till we meet again, appreciate the manipulation.